Okay, guys, really quick, before we have Alanah on the episode, we have some Gus business. Did you add a business in there?
I did 5 of them, the standard 5 for each day of the business week.
Wait, we do 4. Business.
What?
Business. Yeah, we do 4, right?
Business. Oh my god, this is like the Berenstein Mandela effect bears, Eddie.
We lived in another universe where you said one more. Okay. The business is new Yikes merch launching today. Here I'm wearing one of them now. Check it out. We got these flowers. I just want to say really quick, for real, this is like the hardest, Gus, I've worked on one of the launches. It's like much more conceptualized by me for it. I'm super, super happy with it. Here's a lot of the items. We got a whole ass sweatsuit, a floral sweatsuit, and some cool ass shirts that I'm really proud of. So the link is in the description below or yikeshop.com. Yeah, that's basically it. I just want to let everyone know if you want to support me. I got new Yike shit, and it's like honestly the proudest I've been of any launch. I feel like it's the most professional launch we have. And the shipping's way faster than before. So we made some changes, and that's better. So that's the Gus.
The business.
You added another one.
Business.
Let's get on the episode. I don't want to turn this into a
business.
Fight. I swear to God.
I usually have a children's applesauce by now.
I happened to catch a banana right before this, but that's about it.
You probably should have done that, yeah. It's a good call.
I wonder if we should start the podcast on Gus saying I would have already had a children's applesauce by now.
Oh, shit.
What do you think about that, Gus?
I mean, it's kind of revealing, but they're for adults too. There's no age on the box.
Well,
so
they put if they put children's on the box, that kind of puts an age on the box.
Do they do that?
I don't know. Just the way Gus said, a children's applesauce.
Children's applesauce.
Nobody tell, please.
Well, that's like the guy who went viral. I think he was a politician of some kind because he was washing his hair with horse shampoo or dog shampoo. But he was like, how was I supposed to know? But it says horse and has pictures of horses on it.
Hold on. So I have a million questions. Wait, first off, we got Alanah on the podcast. Wait, but what are you talking about? A politician that used horse shampoo?
Yes. Okay. I Googled Twitter horse shampoo. I will find it. Yeah, it was someone who went viral for using a horse shampoo. It was Mane and Tail, I believe is the brand. And the logo is 2 horses running. It's like, that's the silhouette. And, if you read it, it says it's for horses. But I guess this guy didn't know and was like, I'm sure a lot of people have made this mistake. And everyone else is like, not sure about that, mate.
Even if you didn't see the logo and didn't see the label horse shampoo, if the brand is called Mane and Tail, like what are you using it to wash for? Like,
he's just hyper masculine. He's like, yeah, I got a mane and I got a tail.
Is the tail part of some weird masculinity?
I think so.
We're gonna all be flexing our tails at the gym once everything goes back.
So I actually used that shampoo this morning.
Wait.
Oh. No, that's I'm sure a lot of people make that mistake.
Wait, Gus, hold on. Your laugh sounded too sincere. Are you telling me you're serious?
Give me literally
No,
5
Gus.
seconds.
What?
No, Gus. There's no fucking way.
What?
I don't.
So, here's the bottle of Mane and Tail that I use every day.
Gus.
I'm fucking serious. Hey, Matt Watson said, hey, I shaved my head for the Super Mega Show, and then I wouldn't fucking grow back, so I used this Mane and Tail. It was in the regular people's aisle at Target.
Read the bottle right now.
The original Mane and Tail and Body Shampoo for shiny, manageable hair. That's
my God.
Only thing it says on there.
Look at the back says of horses?
Yeah, look at the back says directions for human use. That's me. I'm one of those.
Hold on.
Wait.
Human use. So you are using a horse shampoo and you're using the exact brand Alanah just mentioned out of nowhere in the beginning of the episode.
That is the truth. Everything that you said up to this point is the truth.
No.
I'm not even fucking kidding you. I wish you could see the video. It's a huge
Did you
bottle.
make a mistake when you bought this, or did you do this intentionally?
No, this is my 4th consecutive bottle of mane and tail
What?
that I've purchased. I've
Oh my
exclusively
God.
used this.
I'm just saying, if I was viewing or listening to this podcast, I would not believe any of us.
No, I think this is completely made up as I can't see it.
This is so true.
Yeah, Gus, send a photo in the Discord right now.
All right, I'll do
Oh
it
my
right this
God.
second. Matt Watson told me, he's like, everybody uses this shit. You gotta get it. I'm gonna.
Is
hold
this
it in my
some
hand.
secret thing that it's like all?
Do you think you got punked by Matt Watson?
That's very possible that Matt was just
Right?
kind of fucking bullshitting you, but I don't think so. All right.
I mean, that could be true, but I do have some very shiny, manageable hair now as a result. Of
You know,
this
my
mane.
you know what
God.
it's gonna happen after this episode. I'm gonna see a couple of posts on the subreddit like, "Mane and tail user here, Gus. You're absolutely right." I know I'm gonna see it on Reddit right
Good.
after.
As you should. I just put it in the Discord. This is my 32-ounce big boy bottle I got.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I'm looking
This
right
shit
now.
slaps.
The people also ask on Google is mane and tail good for human hair? And it starts with, however, mane and tail, a popular brand of horse shampoo, is also used by humans. So Gus, you just thought, how long have you been using this?
About a year and a half.
So for a year and a half on the
Yes.
podcast, you never thought like, hey, by the way, I've been using some horse shampoo.
Yeah, you didn't feel like that was good
to have
content?
I had to have fucking said this. I can't believe. Can you please, somebody find a clip of me saying this somewhere? I've been using this shit. I thought it was public knowledge.
Wait, so Gus, did you think that this was a regular shampoo with just a horse mascot, or were you aware this was a horse shampoo?
So I knew from the start it was horse shampoo because I didn't even consider using this shit until I went, one of the last things pre-pandemic last year, I went out to dinner with Matt Watson and his girlfriend, and he was just like, yeah, man, you got to use some of this mane and tail.
You got
It's horse
punked, man.
shampoo.
Yeah, he punked you for sure.
Yeah, Matt's
Dude,
the
I'm
exact
gonna-
guy.
I'm going to beat the
Yeah.
shit out of him when I see him again, dude.
I
With
found
my
the tweet
shiny
that went
manageable
viral
hair.
recently, which I guess brought up the mane and tail tweet. It was by Jonathan Kay, who's an editor for Quillette. I don't really know what that is. But he was actually using a dog shampoo. That is
interesting.
Arm & Hammer Standard of Purity Soothing Oatmeal Shampoo that says for pets. Yeah, specifically a dog shampoo, and he was like, the picture of the dog is really small. Lots of shampoos I used in the past have pictures of waterfalls or people cleaning dishes or gauzily drawn women frolicking in pastures or dudes under waterfalls with chests provocatively projected outwards or whatever. So yeah, he kind of went viral for it, but then defended it as though like, hey, anything can have a dog on it. But it looks like
Anything have a dog on
it doesn't
it.
mean it's for dogs, and then it looks like he's deleted the tweet.
I like that you could have had a bunch of probably legitimate excuses to kind of meme your way out of there, but he went with anything can have a dog on it. Like, that does not like dog food has dogs on it.
No,
Also-
and I mean, his original tweet says, this is partly my own fault, but it doesn't help that Arm & Hammer has the word pets in like 4-point typeface. I'm guessing this is common, and everyone had to be like, it's not.
It's
This
not,
is not
especially
common.
for shampoos, because I haven't seen. And Gus, I'm glad you know it was a horse one, because I feel like for kids shampoo you might have like a cartoon animal or something. But the second
Yeah.
you become an adult, there's no like icon unless it's for that thing. I will say, however, in your defense, Gus, regular just buying like Dove men's, or I'm not going to trash that specific company, but like men's shampoo is probably the shittiest out there. I bet that's better for you than just the regular like quote men's shampoo. And I
Oh,
don't know
guy.
why isn't there more care in everyone's hair? That's what I don't
I
get.
don't understand. need
I have
more
two
hair care.
questions.
What's up?
What's up?
One, what aisle was it in when you bought it?
The
That's
people's
so
aisle?
important.
It was in the people's aisle.
Yeah.
It was in the definitely for humans aisle at Trader Joe's.
I'm telling you,
People's shampoo.
yeah, it was specific an aisle just for it. Just said people related soap, and I went down there, and this fucker was on like a little pedestal there.
It's like an
That's-
Acme aisle, like for fucking.
Yeah, you can go. I'm sure if you go into Target, you can see this shit in the regular ass shampoo section too.
I believe you if that was just so insane that you had it right after that, because it was the first I was hearing of mane and tail, and apparently you've been using. Maybe you mentioned it before, but I never remembered you saying like, hey, by the way, I use horse shampoo
You
every
feel
day.
like you'd remember that.
Yeah,
Well,
I think it would.
I'm just surprised because every time, Eddie, that we've jumped on a video call, you've said, wow, Gus, you have some really shiny, manageable hair right now. And I just thought you knew where it was coming from.
Like a mane or a tail.
Yep. And
Like either of those.
there's usually also someone on a saddle on Gus, and he's swatting flies with his tail as well.
That's the usual.
So
That's the
maybe
usual.
maybe this one's on me.
My second question was going to be, what does it say on the back? You said there's for human use directions. What does that say?
Directions for human use, and I got to dry off the bottle because I just took a shower 40 minutes ago. Directions for human use: wet hair and apply mane and tail trademark shampoo. The amount used will vary depending on the volume or length of hair. Work through hair with fingertips, rinse thoroughly, and follow with an application of the original mane and tail conditioner.
What?
Interesting.
Does it mention horses on the back?
Yep, because right underneath that it says directions for animal use.
Wow.
About the same
You've
amount.
been using a shampoo that has, and I hope everyone says mane and tail is actually great, but you have been, without really thinking a lot of it, using a shampoo that has for animal use on half of the bottle.
As the second one, it is under human use.
Wow.
And these animals can't even read, so I feel very confident about that choice.
That's a good point. Do
Yeah.
you think this started because, you know how like horse people can be pretty weird? Do you think that one of them showered with their horse one time?
I think so. I think
I
that's
think so.
exactly the
From?
story. And then
Yeah.
it was just around town, she'd be mentioning like, hey, you know what, mane and tail is actually really good for you too. And everyone was like, I bet she showered with that horse. That's what happened.
It was a Mr. Hand situation. All right.
Oh, it was really fucking bad. That is that is some cursed ass stuff. I don't even want to.
Yep. That's all we have to say about that. All right.
Anyway, how the hell you been, Alanah? We're at the home stretch of this G-dang thing. Aren't you really glad that it's been a year's worth of hopping into interviews and stuff and having people go,
has.
how's your quarantine going? How's that going?
It's not even interviews. It's like every call with your family,
Yeah.
Which, the answer is generally, hey, I have a really cool job and I get to do cool stuff. So while it sucks for everyone, it could be a lot worse. But also I got my first shot, getting my next one on the 15th. I'm very excited. I just want to go see a movie so bad.
Oh my god, I cannot wait. What's the first big public thing that you want to do after this?
I just said, see
So-
a movie.
You're seeing a movie?
Obviously.
Okay, I guess you don't want to go get snacks at the Dollar Tree next door before the movie to save a buck, but
Well, I
that's
think
fine.
you still have to be a little bit careful about what you do publicly because even if you're vaccinated, you can still spread it. So I want to be like cautious of that. But I'd love to go to brunch. Just a
be
classic white girl
goddamn
brunch
great.
situation. Like I'm just gonna embrace that. I was gonna rent out a movie theater with a bunch of friends. The AMC, fun fact, is doing that for $350.
Oh, really?
You can just rent out a whole theater, 20 people. Which
That's cool.
I
adds
tried
to
looking it up
$17.50 a ticket.
before. Are there so there are like ones kind of in the area around here that you can do that
I mean,
for?
you can do like City Walk.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool as hell.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to talk too much about the movie because it just came out, but I did see Godzilla v Kong, and I'm probably gonna watch. Even though I'm not like I liked it. It was fun. It was also kind of bad, but I might watch it again in theaters just to have the experience soon when I can. Just
That's
to
what
see
I was
something.
thinking I'd do it for, was exactly that movie, which I have not seen yet, but it looks like those big boys get it into a bit of a ruckus.
See, the thing is, the movie delivers on that, and that's all you want. That's all you
That's
need.
fine.
That's what it
Don't
says
know
on
why
the
Millie
movie
Bobby Brown's
poster.
there.
She was in the last Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
I did not like it at all. It delivered on the big monster fighting, but anytime people were talking, oh man. And Millie Bobby Brown was in that one, and I guess they were like, she's such an integral part of the last movie. Like Godzilla wouldn't have been able to fight without Millie Bobby Brown walking around.
I'm still super sore that first Godzilla one came right on the heels of Breaking Bad, and half the
man.
promo was like, get ready for some B-Rye cranny action. This whole dang thing, it was just all the face shots of him, those big panning sweeps, and then you get in there and it's like my boy's dead in 10
Yeah,
minutes.
he dies real quick.
Yep.
That was very lame.
I remember in the trailers it said Emmy Award winning B. Rye Cranny. And
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I can't wait to see him. He's even going by his cool nickname in this movie.
That's what all of his
and
friends
he
in the
was
biz
out-
call him, yeah.
I was surprised that they made that his on-screen character name too. So kind of took
And-
me out of it.
The fact that in the middle of destroying the city, Godzilla went, "Is that B-Right Granny from Breaking Bad?"
He cleared his throat and said
He
it
said
like real
it-
pompous. He was like, "Is that B-Right Granny?" Everyone's like, "What? Oh my god, yeah, it totally is." The war just stops momentarily. It was great. Good content.
I was joking when I was watching it yesterday that I would kill for during any type of ruckus between the two, somebody in the city to just look at the camera and go, "Now that's a Godzilla vs Kong," and then credits roll. That's all.
Yeah,
Why is it
I
you can call
just
me
wanted Logan or Jake Paul to show up and try to fight whoever won. That was my real hope for it. It was
Oh
that
my god.
Isn't
dude.
it
whichever one it
crazy?
is that does the boxing shows up and demands to box Godzilla.
I
Tag
think they
team,
both
dude.
do, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy that they both just have careers in that kind of now. Cause Jake Paul's doing it like a UFC fight soon, isn't he?
I think so.
He's fighting somebody, and then isn't Logan fighting Mayweather? Am I crazy, or is that a thing?
I think that is a thing.
They're like
don't know
big
when that's
name
happening
fighters
yet.
now, and it's really they make a ton of money off of the fact that they know people want to see them get punched in the face. It's
Oh,
think it-
absolutely.
It's been postponed. Okay, so it was supposed to be on February 20th, but has been postponed. And that's like really interesting when everyone's like, of course Mayweather's going to destroy him. But
Right.
some like sport experts are like, yeah, but Logan is heavier and younger, I think, is what they were saying.
That's the
It's like,
thing
oh,
is
absolutely.
he's not a world class boxer, but the one thing when Logan was going into boxing before is I'm pretty sure he was like a state wrestler. Like he's a fit dude. And I just can't believe they made careers out of that. It's insane. But I want to see
And that they're,
Godzilla
like-
breathe fire on them.
yeah, absolutely. And they're just being legitimized in it by like getting to fight Mayweather.
Yeah.
Like it's wild.
It's getting past the point where it's like a meme, honestly, because it's like at some point, hey, you're doing a lot of fights, you're getting some big gigs and stuff. It's like you do be kind of a fighter, though. You know, like
I think they
nuts.
had really not record breaking, but like really good pay per view numbers, which just means I guess they're legit. You tell any of the like executives doing that stuff that they bring in money, and then you're a fighter, I guess immediately.
I
Yeah.
guess. Alana, you ever been in a fight?
I don't think I have, I had to think about it because, like, I don't know, I'm Australian. It's just a lot of stuff people just be fighting each other in the streets out there, It's like maybe. No, I don't think I ever have. It's like maybe
haven't-
someone tried to steal a hair tie from me while I was still wearing it once in high school, but I
Oh.
didn't fight
What an
back. So
ass, dude.
yeah, it was pretty intense.
Some shit. Do you think you could do all right in a fight? Because I've never been in a fight. Not that I want you to fight me, because I'd probably lose. But we on the other side of the looking glass have to look through and be like, oh, can I win a fight? Do you have confidence in yourself?
No, I have really bad asthma and I have like weak wrists because I have tendonitis. And then I recently got in a motorbike accident that messed up both my hands. So I feel like it would be like beating up a disabled person. You just
Damn, you could
Don't
kick
do
pretty
it.
well though.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
you-
could probably get some kicks out.
Don't forget
Yeah.
about
That's good.
kicking. There's the one
true.
unforgettable move, and Gus, I'm sure you're familiar with it too, because I'm sure you used it on Sven, where you just punch and kick and just flail your limbs as you walk forward. Nobody can
Yep.
defend it. There's nothing you can do if you're just constantly stepping forward, kicking, and flailing your arms in punches, because there's too much to block. I don't
All right,
know
that's
why.
a good tip. Heard it here first.
Yeah, Logan should use it against Mayweather.
he's gonna be screaming like Creed in The Office when he does the strike scream run. Just run at him like
Yep, that's pretty much it. And you can mix the scream in so you're really striking and screaming, and the run is at the person you're trying to get. So you combine all three.
This is great. This is how people who play video games discuss how they're going to get in fights. This is exactly what this is. I dated a guy in high school who was 6'7", and he did
Oh my
kickboxing. He was massive. And people, because he was so tall, would just try to fight him in the street. Like, just really any interval, some guy who thought he was real tough would try to fight this boyfriend. And because he did kickboxing, what he would do would just be kick people. But it came to a point where at the gym they had basically like registered the force of his kick, and it was basically equivalent to a minor car crash. And they were like, yeah, you can't kick anyone. You need to not do that. So if someone tried to fight him, he would generally back up. And I'd be like, you're gonna kick them. But we've established now that you could maybe break all of their bones if you did. So you kind of just got to sit there and not fight anyone, even though apparently anyone who has anything to prove just tries to fight someone if they're 6'7".
So are you saying he was told
wild.
it was pretty much illegal for him to kick somebody?
Yeah, they said that he'd probably get in a lot of trouble if he kicked someone.
That's so cool to carry around as a badge. Where it's like somebody's trying to threaten you and you're like, buddy, if I kicked you, I might go to jail because of the force. That's crazy. That's
My kick
insane.
is a registered weapon is effectively what it was. Yeah, it was wild.
That is nuts. Have you? I can't remember the name of it offhand, but I know there's an older documentary. It's something like Punch of Death or One Punch or something like that. It's not One Punch Man.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, that's pretty anime, actually, Gus.
It's about this guy who in one punch...
But it's all about like these like incidents about people that, you know, where some fucker comes up to him in the street or something, and they just punch him, and the guy falls back and like hits his head and dies. And it's just all these people that get in these minor scraps that inadvertently result in somebody dying, and then their life is gone because it's like, oops, fucking killed a guy on accident.
Well, yeah,
'cause
I mean, the
punched
dead
him.
guy's life is gone, but then also the person who punched someone is like jailed for that.
I just, man, I can't imagine. What a nightmare. Can you imagine? That's how it's going to go with my luck, because I'm going to get in my first fucking fight, and I'm not even going to hit the guy hard, but there's going to be like a newspaper floating by that hits him in the eye, and he falls and hits his head on a Chicago Tribune mailbox and bleeds out or something.
I mean, that's terrifying. Just trying to hit someone and then having them die would be absolutely mortifying for every single party involved.
Anytime there's a type of discussion like this, I always think about how Houdini died. And it's crazy to me how Houdini died. You guys know what I'm talking about?
No, how did Houdini
Because
die?
I believe, and I could be butchering this, so I'll Google it right after. But Houdini had a thing where he would like prep himself and like flex and tell somebody to punch him in the stomach as hard as they could. And then I think somebody had heard he did that and punched him without him being able to brace. And I think it fucked up something like one of his like kidneys or something like that.
Whoa.
I'll look it up. Hold on 1 second.
Wow.
Houdini death. Well, I don't know.
I've
Maybe
got
he's still alive.
Logan Mayweather currently on my Google. I've gone straight to Houdini death.
I've probably mentioned this on the podcast. Yeah, his appendix burst. Let me see.
From a punch?
Let me see if this is just did not immediately. Wait. He was rushed. Did it just burst or did he get punched? Is that just a random story?
Wow, he does not look how I expected him to look.
Right? He looks just like just a little weird, wiry little guy, like doing magic-y shit.
He looks like Steve Brule.
He does look like Steve Brule.
I think that was false what I heard. He was hit by a piece of equipment while being restrained in his Chinese water torture cell.
Oh, yeah, no, that will get you.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Wow.
That night he began to speak of stomach cramps. Yeah, that'll do it to you, dude.
I tried to cut back on that.
Where'd I hear this punch thing? Sounds like absolute bullshit.
I mean, maybe he injured himself from that somehow.
Yeah.
You know, or you were on the internet.
Yeah, that's it.
One or the
I
other.
think I heard this like when I was a kid though, so I might have just been extra wrong. I'm gonna search.
How does
Houdini
everyone
punch.
know who Houdini is? Like, we all just know that name. But
I had
don't
that
feel like it's like he's
conversation
been in
recently.
pop culture.
Well, I think it's carried over from our parents' generation of knowing who Houdini is. I feel like, and I could be totally wrong, younger Gen Z people might not know who Houdini is, but he's just got a name that kind of has a ring to it. So maybe it'll
That
just
is
last because
true.
of the name.
Houdini.
Apparently, he was actually born as Eric Weiss, so it's not even his real name.
Actually?
Yeah, I'm sick of these liars. So he
I
went
have
from
a
Eric
friend with
Weiss
that-
to Eric Weiss to Harry Weiss to Harry Houdini. Sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. I have a friend with that exact name. That was weird to hear in that context.
Is he Houdini?
Yeah, dude, he might be. I think he's only like 30-something, though, but,
Okay, actually, I was not wrong about the punch. So that was, I believe, on October 11th when he got his stomach damaged. On October 22nd, 1926, he agreed. So I think this is after he's already complaining about stomach pains. He agreed to be punched in the gut multiple times when a student asked if he could resist the pain. Which, first off, what conversation was that? And he was sitting on a couch because of his broken ankle when 5 blows were delivered to his abdomen. That night, he began to speak of stomach cramps. So yeah, he was just some student came up and was like, "Hey, you think it would hurt if I hit you 5 times in the stomach?"
That's how he died?
I guess so.
My
It's like a
God.
theory for why his appendix might have burst. So
Wow.
it's in the same article that I was just reading the other thing. So it was like involved in the conversation.
I mean, it's not that long ago that did kill people. What, he died in 26. Like, people's appendix did just used to rupture inside of them, and then they're just dead. Like, humans are real fragile.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Even the fact that, like, we have vaccines is full sci-fi future bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
we are currently in the future, obviously, of, like, I think, like, where the middle of human life would probably be for advancement is, like, what, the 1500s? And then now we are in full future mode now.
I think that we are, even though we don't feel like we are, effectively cyborgs right now, in that we constantly have pieces of tech that are attached to us more often than they are not. And I feel like, you know, the way that evolution works is supposed to be that you develop as things are needed. That's a super restrictive way of talking about it. But I feel like we aren't going to necessarily continue to evolve because we're now just depending on technology and tools to evolve for us instead. So, like, humans are sort of done here, and we're now just all cyborgs who are attached to phones. Like, they talk about when the robots take over the future as though we aren't all already constantly catering to AI and algorithms. They already control everything we do. We're just like, it's not the future yet because I can't fly in a car.
Exactly. Yeah, this
My
doesn't
question
look like
is
Blade
then-
Runner.
If you're playing, like, Call of Duty against somebody, are you essentially doing cyborg fights? That's my question.
Ooh.
You playing shooting any video game against somebody? Is Among Us a cyborg murder mystery? Who knows?
Whoa.
I'm all right with it. It's just virtual cyborg mystery,
Because
but
we're
it's
still
also
controlling it, and then we're also speaking. So, like,
yeah.
that's what
But
I'm
it's also
talking about.
still catering to an algorithm, especially in the case of like a Call of Duty, but I guess more extensively to like a FIFA Ultimate Team, where the game is constantly getting feedback on the way that you play and deciding which lobby to put you in and trying to find ways to get your attention to stop you from playing a different game and then figuring out how to make you spend money. And like, we're just like, okay, have this information about me. I'll keep going.
That's
That is ridiculous.
I want a redo of the movie War Games with Matthew Broderick, but it's him just trying to play FIFA Ultimate Team. That's how you truly battle a computer, is avoiding a gambling addiction.
It's just him going, shoot, I should have my kid tell me how to play this before.
Also,
Dude, that's-
Alanah, I have to wait. Sorry, Gus. You want to go ahead?
Well, my final point on that too is I was just saying at the further point, like it's crazy to even look around you physically, and you can see that like so many objects around you are physical manifestations of an algorithm. You know, I'm looking at the shit in my room, and I'm like, I bought that because it was recommended to me. Even products that I remember like talking about, and they were recommended, and then I was like, oh, that's weird. I'm getting an ad for that. I've bought that. It's in my room now. That's
It's
fucking
super
wild.
weird. Like, I don't get ads on Instagram for some reason, and I don't know why. But I've never even once had an ad on that app, and
Wait, what?
Yeah, I just don't get ads on Instagram.
That's so lucky. Holy shit.
I know. I wonder if maybe it's because I made my account in Australia, but it recognizes that I live in the US and it doesn't know what to do with the market or something. I have no idea. But I feel like that's the thing that I'm super frequently lately. I'm hearing people be like, oh, I bought this on Instagram. And it's like, that's the thing about a product like Instagram is, you know, you can go on Twitter and complain about features all you want, but it ultimately doesn't matter because you're not the actual customer for Instagram. If you're not spending money, you're not a customer. The customer is the people who are buying your sales data.
Right.
It is the people who are running those ads. And you're just like willingly giving them that information and being like, okay, I post a pretty picture.
It sucks too
Which
because
I also do.
Their ads are so good. Like, I'll
They're
be
real
scrolling and I'm like, damn, that's a cool shirt, but I can't do it. But I'm saying that
Like,
around
I
my
have that
phone.
with
Fuck.
t-shirts all the time. I'm like, do I need another t-shirt though? I don't
Yep.
think I need another t-shirt.
Especially when you buy them on Instagram too, because it's like, or anything that isn't like a regular mainstream like merch thing. You get it, and then typically for me, it's like it's the end of the night, and you're just like, oh damn, that looks pretty cool. Bye, and then it'll show up like 6 weeks later, and you'll just be like, well, and it's new the first time when you get it because you don't even remember it from the Instagram ad. You go,
I'm a
oh,
fan
this
of that.
dang thing.
You get surprised by your own purchases, like you bought yourself a gift from the past. I
Yeah,
like
look
it.
at me. Good looking
Wow,
out, Gus.
I treated myself.
That was I had to stop doing it. I would like get late at night when I was booking a flight, and I'd be way more in the mood to treat myself with like extra leg room or something, and I would wake up and be like, I didn't need to be in the exit
How
row.
much
Why
was
did I do that?
Yeah.
Which
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm so upset because during COVID stuff, I saw just based off the websites that basic economy had disappeared from most of the companies. And unfortunately, when I was looking at going back home in the summer, basic economy has returned, which made me furious because I thought it was gone forever.
Wait, what do you mean by gone?
Like, it was not like they had economy, but basic economy was the more recent new one where they don't even let you pick a seat and they don't let you have a carry-on. And like the super stripped down one. And I don't think they could afford to do that during COVID, but it's already back. So unless it was there during and I just didn't see it, but I despised that like fully stripped down economy. We didn't think we could have less.
Worst. What do you mean I can't take a bag on a flight?
I know.
What am I supposed to do?
It's ridiculous, dude.
Absolutely. I'm trying to fly home in May. It's all approved from work, and I get to work remotely and all that stuff. But it is minimum right now $4,000.
Oh my god.
And I know. And they also suggest that if you don't want to have your dates be flexible, that you go business, which pushes it up to like almost 10.
Oh my God.
And I'm
What
going
the
home because
hell?
my sister's pregnant. So if they were like, hey, we're pushing you 2 weeks, then I would in theory miss her childbirth. So I was like, do I just like save aggressively hard and finally do the Raid Shadow Legends ad read they keep emailing me about and just finally say yes so I can go home? Like,
I feel like
it's so expensive.
if you said for a Raid Shadow Legends ad all that information, I feel like people would be like, that's fine.
Fair play.
You're
yeah.
okay.
I'll join you
allowed
on the
to go home
battlefield.
for your
Yeah.
sister. Yeah.
What for like normal, do you know, what are the kind of like range of normal prices for that flight then?
I feel like I usually expect about 1,800 return.
Okay.
So that's like, it goes over occasionally, but I feel like, I've had as cheap as $900, which is really rare when there's a sale. And that's what I tend to do is just constantly, I use this app called Hopper. Just constantly year round look at flights to Australia to see the cheapest way that I can go home. When there's a sale, I'll just book it and be like, okay, this is the 2 weeks that I'm going home then for whatever's the cheapest amount that I can do it for. But like $4,000 is the cheapest right now. It doesn't get any cheaper.
man.
And then it's also really complicated in that because they have mandatory 2-week quarantine, which, basically like the government picks you up from the airport in Australia and then puts you in a hotel. It's not like a stay at home thing. I have to be careful about which city I fly into. Because ideally, if I could quarantine at home, then my dad could like bring me food. Even though he can't come into the hotel, you could like leave it outside. But it looks like I probably have to quarantine in Sydney, which is just like, cool, I'm in Sydney for 2 weeks in a hotel.
Sure, yeah.
Great.
Can't do anything.
It's
Jeepers.
very complicated. Like, I don't know why I didn't expect it to be, but when I went to look at flights, I was like, oh no.
Is it
This
more
is the
because it's
worst.
international travel right now and it's just like...
For sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
It's also like really restricted. Like, I can
Right.
get into the country, but when I leave, I have to submit an application. It's all like very, very complicated. They don't want citizens going anywhere, basically.
Dang. What do you have like dual citizenship at all too, or like what's the status
Nah,
there?
I'm on a visa. Citizenship is very hard to get. I don't think I'm even eligible yet. But I did get a text from my business manager today being like, hey, we're going to start processing a green card application. It could take 24 months. It's like, cool, let's do it.
Oh boy, yeah, start that up there.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's difficult.
Oh, I just remembered it was the question I was going to ask before. Alanah, can you list the amount of places that people know that you've worked at? Because like there are so many of them, and I
If
don't.
it's places I've actually worked, the ones that people know of are really just like IGN and Rooster Teeth. But if you go broader to like stuff I've done, it's most things in the games industry, I think. But like actual full-time employers would be those two. But in Australia, I also worked on international television and radio, and then magazines and stuff.
That is
when
wild.
I started out as a writer.
That is wild. What has your experience been like in more traditional media versus more kind of new media, like the work that you've been doing more recently?
Well, I'm currently a video game writer. I work at Sony Santa Monica Studio.
Which is crazy. I saw that
it's
announcement.
super
I was like,
cool.
holy shit. Because I became obsessed with God of War in the last since 2018. So like that's
it's a good
insane.
Game.
Yeah,
it's a good game. So I mean that I've done creative writing before, and I have worked on video games before. I had worked on some animated stuff. I had done more creative writing at Rooster Teeth, which is a big part of why I wanted to work there versus IGN, which was just entirely journalism for the most part. Did sometimes do creative writing, but not very much. But yeah, I mean, working on a video game is like a whole other thing that I can't talk about at all. But I absolutely love it. Like it's wonderful, and I work with such a cool team of people, and like getting to work with so many people who are so skilled in vastly different ways is probably the coolest thing about working at a AAA game studio. It's like all these people, you know, I think we have like over 400 employees, are working on completely different things with different backgrounds they had to like study for and get years of experience for, because you don't work at a AAA studio unless you've done it for a long time. And you just talk to someone whose job it is to work on a certain kind of physics or a certain kind of lighting, and like that's the whole thing that they've known for the last decade. And it's just so cool to be like, oh my god, all you people are so smart at things that no one knows how to do outside of this particular facet of the industry. It's very, very, very cool.
That is why I would imagine that would be such a just contagious environment for like feeling motivated and wanting to be super productive and stuff when just everyone's just on their A game like that.
It totally feels that way. Whereas, like, you know, I worked with a lot of really wonderful people at IGN, but also just, like, some of those people are real lazy.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't think you can get away with any of that kind of thing when you work in AAA game development. Right, it's like, everyone is really on it. And yeah, it's the coolest thing. I mean, I'm a person who, I just really love to learn. Like, anything that I don't know that I have access to learn about, that's the intent. Is I'll just like ask people and be like, how does this work, and I feel like I have like 400 people to interview about what they do. It's so cool. Big fan.
Dude, that is awesome.
That's where actually now, because we have a couple of our friends formerly worked at Naughty Dog, and it was during Last of Us 2, and we haven't seen them really since, you know, like COVID hit, and I feel like now I have a million questions for them because they can talk about it, you know, like where before I was like, well, I don't want to get any leaks on it. I just want to know how what the process is like, you know? So now I can finally have like a conversation about it when it's not, you know, one of the most anticipated games like of all time coming out.
Still definitely a hot talking point. Still a lot of people talking about that game.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
I think some people had some opinions, and that's as far as
just yesterday somebody on Twitter said that it was like SJW political trash, but their reason for it was one that I had not seen before, and it was just that Ellie doesn't have big boobs. They were like, the decision to make Ellie flat-chested was very political. Was it? Or do humans just not always have huge boobs?
That's
super
so
fascinating.
That's especially weird because of the first game. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Why did
already
you
a
want
weird
that?
thing to say, but
Yeah.
it's especially super weird because of the first game.
You groomed a video game character,
Yeah,
bro.
what the
Like,
fuck?
Exactly.
Don't
Jesus
be doing
Christ.
that.
But I will say, I don't want to. I just remembered, Gus, that you did not play the game. So sorry for the spoilers.
Ellie doesn't have huge boobs.
Ellie,
Sorry about that.
Ellie doesn't have, quote, giant knockers, according to that guy.
Big mummy milkers.
You've made my decision easier.
I guess I gotta go buy a different game.
It's just Dead or Alive. It's just Dead or Alive.
Why was Mommy Milkers trending on Twitter like yesterday, by the way?
Did you? I think you and Phil both tweeted about that. I saw two different mommy milkers trending. I don't know. Did you click on it?
I didn't. I just
Too scared?
screenshot. Yeah, I didn't want to look at the mommy.
I'm too
really
scared of
hard
what
to
I would
figure out
find.
why things are trending. I don't know if it's just me that has that problem, but I'll be like, okay, like, so it says Bad Baby is tweeting or trending right now. Oh, it's because she made an OnlyFans. Okay, that one I figured out pretty quick. Welp. But a lot of the time when you click on it, it just like gives you a bunch of top tweets that are referencing the trend, but it pushes them so far down that you're like, I don't even know why this is trending anymore. My guess for Big Mommy Milkers would be because of the, what is she like? I don't remember her exact height. The very tall model who cosplayed as a vampire lady. That was probably why.
Okay.
Because I feel like she's associated with Big Mommy Milkers as a phrase. That could be completely
makes
wrong.
sense. All in the same cultural zeitgeist there.
I'm glad. I
Yeah.
think Twitter corrected it now. They're a little better now. But do you remember, especially when they started having the trending and then the headline inside the trending click link, where like you'd see somebody's name was trending and it would try to auto pick a new article, but it would be something from like 3 weeks ago. So somebody would like die and the article was like, they made a real show on the red carpet. It's like, that's not why they're trending. That's not the article. That's so
Again,
wrong.
the robots are even in control of the way we consume news.
Yep.
No, fuck them.
I hate it.
All right, how's about we get into a couple of preguntas over here?
Yes.
Okay.
That means questions for
Thank
viewers.
you.
That means questions in English. So if you haven't learned
Every
that by now,
week they're like, we have no idea what that means. Can you please explain it? And we do it every week just to make sure they know.
Okay.
Our listeners are
good.
very dumb. And so
But also very well served, apparently. You're doing a great job. Very kind of you.
Anyway, ask us a question on Twitter Alanah, you got one of the best Twitter @s here. Am I saying this right? Alanah.
Yeah, it's perfect. You nailed it.
Boom, right on the head there.
Amazing.
@Alanah, @Eddie Burback, @Gus Buckets, and ask us your dang questions. Here's one for you, Alanah, from @Hector Was Taken. Alanah, what was one of your most notable stories that you worked on? I work as a small-town reporter, and I'm surprised when there's big bombshell stories here. Curious to know what stuck out to you during a time as a journalist.
I actually one time happened to be in Thailand while Rihanna was there. And though this was not my facet of journalism, I have done, a bunch of different kinds of journalism while I was trying to get my degree. I reported on her taking pictures with an endangered species of animal because it blew up in Thailand. Yeah, it's like a very weird one to pick, but it was just
great.
while I was there, and really blew up in my face. And so I reached out to an organization that was for the conservation of animals, and was like, what's happened here and why is everyone so upset? So that was a really weird thing to just get very big. Did also have to do court reporting for a while as part of my degree, and some of that was you basically just go to a courtroom and have to just listen to a trial to then report on it. And one of them was this guy who had given the person behind him money, he was trying to pay it forward. Mm-hmm. So he did this really nice thing, which was I think the person behind him said he didn't have any money or whatever. But then upon leaving the store, for some reason, knocked over this giant stand of orange juice and started pegging just items at people. So it's this bizarre thing of this man doing something that seems really nice and then turning into some kind of gorilla where he just knocked shit over and started throwing stuff. Yeah, it was really weird and just really strange.
So he just kind of snapped out of nowhere?
Yeah, it was really odd to hear people talk about, because they were well, he seemed like a really sweet dude, and then he just went crazy once he'd already paid for his stuff. He had checked out, I think it was an Aldi. Super weird. But then the stories that I think I liked covering the most were always IGN let me take a very long time to write certain things if they were for very good topics, and some of them were I interviewed a ton of developers in different facets of the industry about how the single player gaming landscape is evolving, and the idea behind losing multiplayer games, and also the effects that things like Twitch have had on game development. And that stuff I always just really love, because it's getting to talk to, I said, a lot of experts about something people don't necessarily understand. So that stuff is the stuff that I like the most, is very investigative reporting that took me a really long time. But yeah, the craziest one would probably be the Rihanna one, because it was so bizarre and just happened in real time while I happened to be in Thailand on a holiday.
That is
So
wild.
was it that she wasn't at a sanctuary or something? It was
It was on the implication was that she had sourced the animal. I'm now not remembering it correctly because it was so long ago, but that she had made effort to take a picture with this animal. Yeah, was not in a protected space, and then by posting it, got in a lot of trouble and got the person who had given it to her in a lot of trouble, and they had to launch this investigation of how she had even been around this kind of animal, basically.
Damn. Good girl gone bad really does mean a lot.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't want Gus
That's
to
what
write
the song's
headlines
based
for
on.
anything.
You'd be a great journalist.
Can I write the headlines? You do all the work. I'll just come up with Rihanna pop. It'll do the next one has nothing to do with Rihanna. I was makes me feel like I'm in Disturbia. And it's dude, you're cramming it in here. You gotta stop.
It was. Hang on, I just found it. It was a slow loris.
I know those little things.
They're
gotta
real
look it up.
cute. They're real cute. And yeah, basically the animal keepers were arrested because they let Rihanna take a selfie with it.
Aren't those the ones that you can't, you scratch them and their arms go up, and that actually means, oh, fuck you, I'm in pain, stop doing that, or something?
I don't know. Don't know much about them.
I'm gonna search slow
They're real
loris
cute,
scratch.
Real
and see
cute.
what comes up.
Yeah, she posted an Instagram with the caption, "Look who was talking dirty to me."
So apparently, quote, tickling is a nightmare for slow lorises, which it looks like they raise their arms, yeah, Gus, in a cute way, but they're not happy, they're in pain. That's so awful. Spread the word, people.
Don't be tickling no slow lorises.
Yeah, I hope Rihanna didn't do it.
That's gotta be.
Took a photo with it.
Dude, she did. I bet she tickled it though. Let's be real.
What do you mean? Why are you so sure?
I'm looking at that guy too, and I'm like, I wouldn't be able to resist that thing. Like,
That's
don't put one in front of me.
Most people would tickle it. Yeah.
Gus, even with the knowledge of knowing it's a nightmare, he's like, it's real cute though. I'm so sorry.
I gotta give you a scratch, bro. I can't help it.
One of the worst evolutionary milestones to reach, I feel like that is the worst defense mechanism ever. That's like the equivalent of the Puss in Boots eyes, where you just look so cute that you want to get in there, but it's just fucking torture. I feel bad.
Yeah, that's awful.
Have you ever felt like you've seen something so cute that you like just want to squeeze it?
Yeah. What is that? There's a name to that feeling, I think, but it's really bizarre.
I share this fact all the time because it's just one of my favorites. Is that feeling is you recognizing that something has an exceptional amount of power over you, and it is an urge to kill it.
Oh,
so if you look at a puppy and you're like, I just want to squeeze it, that is a biological urge for you to literally murder it that you are trying to repress because your brain recognizes, oh no, this thing has way too much influence over how I feel, so self-defensively I need to kill it.
Wow.
Same as it happens with babies as well. Yeah.
So then why does it actually coincide with so many pleasure centers of your brain, you know? Like you see a dog and your heart melts and you just want to go love it up and stuff though. Like why? I'm wondering what bridge there was.
That part of it is because you're trying to protect it. So we all think babies are cute, not necessarily because babies are cute, but because we needed to have something biologically to make sure that we would not kill off all the young. And I think that probably the same thing applies to dogs, which obviously were bred from wolves. So over time, seeing a dog is something that wasn't supposed to exist thousands of years ago when all of this stuff was more important. So now it's probably just something that we constantly look at as though it's like that puppy state of it's extremely cute and I must protect it so that it doesn't die out. But yeah, I guess it's just you're supposed to be at odds with yourself on that of but also it has too much power over me and it must die or I will do anything for it. It's wild.
You've mentioned some evolutionary sciences stuff a couple times during the podcast here. Are you super into science and shit?
Yeah, I just wouldn't take anything I say as fact. It's all secondhand or documentaries or whatever.
Sorry. What were you saying?
No, it's definitely something I pay a lot of attention to, but I always I definitely speak about it too freely as something that I have not studied, and I'm always I could be forgetting half of this shit, so take everything as
anyone listening has grown accustomed to not trusting any facts or anything that's said on this podcast, so you're all good.
Excellent.
This is 2009 Wikipedia for people, where all your teachers were do not use this. That is the equivalent of this podcast. Is you have to verify everything that you see on that goddamn thing. I got another G-dang pregunta here for you.
Let's hear it.
At Aranu asks, being a public personality on the internet comes with a bunch of customs and caveats. If you could get rid of one quote-unquote requirement for your job without changing what you do, what would it be?
That's a good question.
I suppose you... Yeah, what were you going to say, Eddie?
I was going to say I would close to eliminate... There's a part of my brain that still looks at comments and Reddit threads and stuff, and I wish I could just flush that right out. Mm-hmm. You know, that's a lot of it is super great, but I wish that especially even the YouTube app wouldn't show the 3 most recent comments of everyone, saying stuff right away. Not that it's bad ever, but I just wish I could not have my any joy interrupted by stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
People are lovely. I'm just saying occasionally there's a comment where I'm shit, you know?
And the day's down the shitter.
I sometimes can't even use Reddit organically anymore because I follow, gaming news pages or whatever, and then I'll click into a thread and I'll see a comment about myself that I'm well, I guess I just can't use this website now. Not casually, at least. I'm I just wanted to be here and have a good time.
Yeah.
I hate that kind of shit.
Yeah, I
Because
feel
Reddit
like
speaks with such conviction too, and it's just like, fuck you guys.
That's the
sometimes,
problem.
dude.
Yeah, we
So
talked
much
about it last
lying.
week. If somebody will say something confidently wrong about you, and then you're like, "What do I do?" Like,
then
it's
everyone will believe it.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like I don't want to be in this random Reddit thread commenting on like a post with one upvote, but they said it like it was real, and I want people to
Yeah.
know.
I've said this before. I think the strangest thing about being a public figure is watching people lie about you, like complete nonsense, watching other people believe it, and then having to accept that you can't actually correct any of those lies because there are too many of them. So you just have to be like, okay, well, that person's saying that, and these people believe it for no reason.
Yep.
Alrighty then, I'm out. I'm not gonna partake in any of this.
It is wild. And do you ever feel like sometimes too, like, God, I'd hate for like family or friends or some shit to see this, because it's like, especially folks that like that are not as plugged into like these industries that we work in and stuff, you know, like I've had relatives and stuff mention just weird shitty listicles that they've seen me in, or be like, oh, I looked up your net worth and it says blah, blah, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you looking at right now?
My dad gets really upset. Like
Yeah.
some of the stuff that he's seen, he gets like very upset about it. He's like, they can't say this about you. And I'm like, they can say whatever they want. That's the problem. I feel like I don't know how to answer this question, because in theory, you know, my job is writing a video game, and so I could actually just piece out from all of it, but game dev doesn't pay that well. So I try to make sure that I can at least pay rent by also doing other things is one part of it. But I feel like leaving Twitter would be my one thing that I would do by choice. Is like, if I didn't need to be on there for, you know, part of it's like networking or just like talking with friends, which can be very fun, but also for business reasons, I feel like I would just piece out of Twitter real fast.
That'd be nice.
It's a lot.
Yeah, that
Twitter's
one
just
thing
such a huge resource, but yeah.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
thing I changed with my Twitter stuff a couple or about probably a year ago. It was, I think, pre the COVID stuff. Is I stopped just like putting like opinions I had out there sometimes, you know, where I knew like if I wanted to talk about a movie that I knew was controversial, I weirdly I liked kind of discussing it with people, but then I noticed like that's Twitter. People won't go for the discussion, and it'll get a rise out of me too. So I just was like, I'm gonna go mostly jokes all the time, unless it's something really important, you know.
That's what I'm doing too. It's mostly
Yeah.
just like tweet a joke a day and then leave. But I actually just changed my notifications so that I just burped. Excuse me. I don't even know where that came from. I haven't eaten anything. I mostly. Oh no, I 100% now. My notification filters are just people I follow, so I don't see anything from anyone else at all. Which has been very nice.
It's a good idea.
Because it just, after like some of the stuff that happened over the last 2 weeks, both with people that I know and with like complete strangers, is like, just, I don't, you know, the guy with the cereal, with the shrimp in the cereal.
Oh
Yeah.
that whole thing.
I didn't even see that happen. I just heard about it. But that was like okay, this dude then kind of got canceled just because he went viral. And it's like, did I need to know that this man who had some cereal fiasco was shitty to work with? I don't feel like I needed that information. I feel like if he was in a position of power where he could be ongoing hurting people or something, I would understand why people would want to express that. But maybe he could. Maybe I don't have that context. But to me, it was just like, this man went viral, and so people were like, he was shitty. And I'm like, I didn't need to know either of these things. I didn't need to know about his cereal, and I didn't need to know about how this complete strangers is at work.
I think he was like some kind of producer or something. So maybe, but still, even the general feeling is like, man, I just wanted to hear about the shrimp in the cereal. I didn't need a whole saga about it, you know? Like, it's where, like, it's fine that it happened, but I don't want to see it or hear about it, you know? It's like...
Yeah, there's value in talking about that stuff. It's just the cyclical nature of it is like somebody blows up and then they must be destroyed. And like, okay, well, could we destroy them, I don't know, in ways that are at least like productive or actually progressive? Like, I feel like a lot of it is... we get very mad at people, but don't actually care if they apologize or want them to learn. We just want them to quit the app entirely, and we'll harass them until they do. And it's like, I just, and I don't think it's a problem with PC culture or anything like that. I think it's just human nature. You know, we used to stone people in the streets for suspected adultery. This is just this happening with millions of people there to watch. It's just humans like taking down other humans.
And when you don't have to throw a stone, but you can just click a button, it's so much easier to do that without realizing that's like you're tossing onto a pile. Like, and again, without even applying it to any specific person or situation, it's just like
people have that ability to do that. Information is really difficult to validate regularly, and you might just be one guy hucking a comment on there or slapping a like on there, but maybe 1,000 other people do it, and that person notices it, and that really fucks their day up or their week up, and who knows what else happens. Like, it's shitty. It's fucking shitty.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't want to go back to stoning people in the streets.
Well,
at least
Gus
does.
Gus says it all the time. He says we should go back to. I got all these stones I need to get rid of. He's like, big order of stones just came in. I'm itching to
Let's make it happen. Bringing it back.
Shipping.
Hey, you seen a glass house anywhere near here?
I'm gonna go live in that. Alanah, you've been doing a lot more Twitch stuff lately at all, or what's been some of your personal project stuff schedule?
I just partnered on Twitch a month ago. After not partnering, yeah, pretty exciting. I didn't do it for a year and then just decided to virtually all of the income. I still need to figure it out in terms of taxes, but will go towards the charities that I try to raise money for every month. So that's the plan. But other personal projects, I just released a short film this month. It's very simple. Nothing, super dramatic, but it was my first one, so starting with something really easy was a nice way to come to terms with it, and how long it takes to edit something like that. And I did all the color grading, and that took a very, very, very long time, but was really fun. So definitely intending to do more of those. I have 2 more planned this year, but I don't know how easy the other 2 are going to be to film because they're a lot more sort of narrative focused, character driven. So maybe it'll be 1 a year or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's the main thing I'm focused on right now. I do a lot of writing in my spare time if I'm not doing, the Twitches and the YouTubes and all that good stuff.
Hell yeah. Where can people see your film, by the way?
I have it currently as my pinned tweet on Twitter, but it's basically on my YouTube channel. I have it as an IGTV video on Instagram and on Facebook as well. So wherever you like.
That's great. That
Go
is so
for
cool.
it.
Get in there, guys. Go check that out. God dang it. Did you go to film school or something, or where'd you get most of your skill sets?
No, I studied a Bachelor of Mass Communication majoring in journalism and entertainment, so there was a screenwriting class in that, but it was mostly a writing degree because I knew that I wanted to be a writer, and that's a thing I've done my whole life. So the filmmaking stuff is something that I feel like I've just gotten more interested in over time, probably by virtue of some of the contacts that I have. It's I've written screenplays, even since I was a kid, and some of them are atrocious. There are some that I like. There's one that I think I'll probably try to sell next year.
Hell yeah.
But it was sort of a thing where I was like, this seems like a creative, fun thing, so let's go make something. It definitely doesn't mean that any of them are, I feel like film school students even would be like, this is incorrect. You've committed several crimes, but I like.
Well, also film school students, film school students might say that, but that doesn't mean that they're right. A lot of film school students have a lot to say a little too early.
It does feel that way. Yeah.
You're gonna hear that from film school students. They're gonna pick it apart, and then they are people that, while there's nothing wrong with this, have not gone on to work in that field at all, and so many people are just critical in fucking film school.
And
the most common criticism I got. Sorry, the most common film criticism I got of the short film was from film students because they'd all tell me they were film students, and their criticism was, this concept is not unique. It's been done a million times. And I don't think it's an unfair criticism, but I did respond to one of those people because they were like gave so much detail and being disappointed by it not being a unique concept and them having seen it a million times. And I was like, okay, but I've never seen anything like this. I have no doubt that this exists. I have it's effectively about COVID. It's not a unique concept to make a film about by any means. But I've not seen a single isolation related film. I have not seen anyone approach filmmaking in the way that I did in any case. Zero doubt that it exists. But if your criticism is supposed to be, well, you probably could suspect that this thing exists, even if you're trying to express something and you want to do that in a creative way. You shouldn't, because you should assume that it exists. So I was like, what am I supposed to do with this criticism? It's you're telling me
assume that it exists.
Just don't make something because other people have probably made something similar. No, just make stuff.
Honestly, I think that's a pretty common film student problem, and people I think that want to get into movies where they think that the concept is where the storytelling comes from, and it's we've seen the same story even in films over the last 10 years
Every Marvel
done different
movie,
ways.
it's like the same structure.
Yeah, you don't need, like, you can, just because something's the same concept doesn't mean you can't tell it from your perspective. That's so, like, that I feel like I hear that a lot where it's like, a lot of film students are like, I'm going to come up with a super unique, like, franchise universe. And if I don't do anything other than that is garbage. And it's like, no, you gotta like hone your craft with storytelling and like figuring out your perspective.
Yeah, that's a thing that I think that's like the way people want to get into the industry is by having this crazy plot. And a thing that I did learn in those screenwriting classes was the main thing that, you know, a lot of people suggest across the board, including like very successful filmmakers, is when you're writing a screenplay to focus on having complex characters but a simple plot. So the plot should be something that is like pretty straightforward that you could explain to anyone. But it becomes more complicated by virtue of what your characters are actually doing within that plot. And I think like that is totally a thing that people could get wrong, because when you're trying to make a complex plot, also things get more expensive. I'm like, I'm trying to shoot this short film in one day with a friend. I'm not trying to save the world, you know? And it's definitely something you can get caught up on. But yeah, it was just a really interesting one. They'd be like, well, I'm a film school student and I've already seen 7 of these, and this is probably the best one of the ones that I've seen, but like come up with a better idea. Nah, just create stuff, man. Like, especially if it's someone's first short film. Like, I would say this to anyone who's even playing with the idea if you want to have fun with it, because that's all I was really trying to do, is just create something. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing. And I always feel like that's a good piece of advice for YouTube as well, is just make the stuff you want to make. Have fun making stuff. Don't be like, but is it unique? No, just be you. Just
I was
do
actually
cool
just
stuff.
about to say that too, because I feel like with most people's YouTube content, you start with some kind of inspiration for it. But even when I've seen the frustration with, I'm sure we all have with friends of ours, where someone will make a video like on a topic and they'll get comments like, this person already did it. It's like, okay, but this is their perspective. So this is a different video completely, you know? And so I've always hated that, like, this thing's been done. It's like, okay, well, hold on and look at it first and just make sure.
Yeah, that's okay. We're all allowed to make the same stuff, too. Humans are really iterative. It's okay. You're allowed.
Except,
Just
actually,
as
I'm
long
just
as you're
getting
creating.
word that Gus is not allowed to make anything anymore.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
That was just put into law, and this is crazy. Internationally, the whole world just agreed no more Gus content.
Yeah, they found out about the mane and tail thing, and they were like, this guy's got to go.
This guy's using horse shampoo. I don't want to see another God's country ever again.
But there's horses in God's country, Eddie. That makes sense canonically.
Damn.
Okay, would it have
got you
been
there.
funnier if I said my cat at 3 a.m., Gus? Would that have made you feel better?
Honestly, a lot.
Well, I'm sorry I couldn't give it to you, or give you the shine or smooth texture that mane and tail can give your human hair.
You fucking heathen. Okay?
I gotta hear that more people use mane and tail before if they don't, Gus, I'm going to clown on you so much about this.
I think you guys should go for the sponsorship. Go direct.
That's what I hope.
Yeah.
If we can get mane and tail, hit us up. I'll start using horse shampoo if you sponsor us.
Hey, me too. Let's commit.
We all gotta get the mane and tail sponsorship.
We are all horses on this blessed day.
Yeah.
We're all in the mane and tail commercial, like, hello. No, before you click off, we are not horses.
And
but
that's okay. Everybody's using it. Don't judge me.
Did you know that mane and tail is not just for your horse, like everyone has a horse?
That you definitely shower with. Anyway.
You don't even have to come in with you. You could do it yourself.
It's easy to use with for human and for animal use directions on the back.
Pick which one applies to the situation that you're currently in, and you're good to go.
But after that sponsorship, Gus, I'm sorry, you're done. Internationally, they said no more Gus stuff.
Everybody said that, yeah.
Can I even
It's trending on Twitter right now.
Can I put out a response to that, Eddie?
Yeah, go for it.